Hi guys, welcome back to 100% Mag. So I hope you're all staying safe and well out there. So I come at you again with another video today, this time to talk about, of course, the upcoming news on Benjamin Sesko. Now, this lad is being regarded as one of the best forwards in world football right now. He's being regarded, of course, as the next Erling Haaland, and we all know what Haaland is like. He's now playing these games at Manchester City, of course, after being at Borussia Dortmund for quite a while. And of course, the reasons behind as well this lad Benjamin Sesko is being rumoured as the next Haaland is purely down to the fact that he's a big guy, 6'4". He's a young striker as well. He's only 19 years old. He's a Slovenian international, and of course, he also plays his football at RB Salzburg. Now, this is a club that has produced some really great talent over the years, and Erling Haaland is one of them talents. Benjamin Sesko is now another one of them talents that RB Salzburg have produced from their team. And only 19 years old, 97 games in his career he has played so far, and he's scored 44 times, assisting 14 times. This lad is going places. This lad is going to be absolutely huge, and Newcastle are targeting him. Now, the reason we know Newcastle are targeting him, this lad, is because the agent of Benjamin Sesko, of course, was in Newcastle. Now, the reason I know this, and obviously I'm a little bit late to the party on this one, because quite a few other people have already talked about it, but the agent of Benjamin Sesko, of course, was in Newcastle, and the reason we know this is because he posted pictures up on his social media accounts showing the UK border control at Newcastle Airport, asking people where they thought he was, and it turned out it was actually the Newcastle airport border control. And then also he posted another picture after that of course the quayside, showing the swing bridge in Newcastle. And that right there starts to bring up questions about you know are we actually going for this lad? Now, if we are, I've got to say it's going to be a massive signing if we can get him in, because this player is absolutely fantastic. Which he scored 21 goals in 29 games for FC Leicester. And of course, he plays his football at RB Salzburg in the Austrian league, and he's banging in goals there as well. Now, of course, we want to see a player, like this coming to Newcastle United. We need a player that's going to come in, and be that goal scorer, that poacher, that player that can get on the end of every cross, every pass. We need somebody like that to come in, because we know for a fact, and I can say this without, hesitating, to be honest. We know for a fact that, Callum Wilson is injury prone. There will be a point probably at some point during this season where he will pick up an injury. And I hate to say it, but it's the truth, At the end of the day, there will be a point where Callum Wilson does pick up a knock here or there, because he is an injury prone player. We do need somebody that's going to be able to come in, and play either off of the bench as a backup to Callum Wilson, or a player that is going to be able to play in partnership with Callum Wilson. But we're definitely going to need somebody to come in who can score goals, and this lad can score goals. Like I've just said there, 97 games, 44 goals, and 14 assists. He can get assists as well. He's only 19 years old. He ain't going to cost that much, as his market value at the moment is 9 million. So I'd expect, a fee around 10 to 15 million, which does work really well in the bracket with what we've been doing so far with players that have been coming into the club. And he has already won the top goal scorer award in Austria. He's won 2 Austrian titles as well, and of course he's won the Austrian Cup winners as well in Austria. Like I say, 6'4", absolutely massive player. He's quick on his feet as well for 6'4", which is quite rare to see, you know, from a tall, lanky striker. You usually don't see that kind of pace, and he's already been capped 13 times as well for Slovenia, and also bagging 2 goals in them 13 caps as well. So this is definitely one to keep an eye out for. The reports, of course, coming from the Daily Mail on this one, saying that, you know, Newcastle are keen on bringing him in. Borussia Dortmund and Bayern Munich are also keeping an eye on this player, of course, because of the potential that is there, that you can see is there. And of course, there's reports coming from the Northern Echo, from Scott Wilson of the Northern Echo, saying that Newcastle are interested in Benjamin Sesko, but the teenage striker, doesn't want to move because he thinks another full season with RB Salzburg would benefit his career. Now, this, of course, could just be, again, you know, the local journalists not quite having their finger on the pulse. We have seen it quite a bit of late since the new owners have come in. You know that the local journals and other journalists in the country as well don't quite know what is going on behind the scenes in Newcastle United, and that is something, you know, that can benefit with going forward in the transfer market, because then we don't see as much of this clickbaity you know, journalism that we do see quite a bit, in what we had seen quite a bit under the previous regime, and we're not seeing it as much this time around. And that is purely down to the fact that, you know, Dan Ashworth, Amanda Staveley Gadassi, you know, everybody at the club are keeping tight-lipped on what is going on at the club, who we are targeting to bring into the club as well. So I would take that with a pinch of salt, in my opinion, from Scott Wilson from the Echo there, saying that Benjamin Sesko wants to stay in RB Salzburg for another full season. It could be true. It could, you know, be, again, just more clickbaity articles from the journalists because they don't quite have their finger on the pulse. But I'll let you make your mind up on that one. In my eyes, you know, I think it is just another clickbaity article by the, you know, UK media and our media here in the Northeast, you know, just purely making up a story because there's nothing really there for them to go on at the moment. And talking about another transfer, they are now more talks on Newcastle going for Jack Harrison from Leeds United. Now, we've had a bid put in for him and it's been rejected, according to news from Sports Pedo. I don't know, you know, the credibility on that one, but they are saying Leeds have rejected Newcastle United's bid for Jack Harrison. Leeds are aware that Newcastle like Harrison, but Newcastle's only proposal for him to date came in at 17 million, which was knocked back. Newcastle value him at a top price of 25 million, whereas Leeds value, of course, Jack Harrison at upwards of 35 million. This is coming from Chris Raff of The Athletic. So we'll have to see, you know, where we'll go from here on the Jack Harrison front. In my eyes, you know, I think 25 million is a pretty fair valuation, to be honest, for Jack Harrison. I don't know where Leeds are coming off with the 35 million. I think that, to be honest, is a Newcastle United tax. Also, it's an English player tax as well, because we have seen, you know, that is a thing. A lot of clubs do charge more for the English players, and especially players that, you know, have that ability of being called up to the English setup as well, to the England setup. And, you know, Jack Harrison, I think 25 million is a fair evaluation by Newcastle for the lad, but we'll see, you know, where we'll go from here on that one. But according to the reports there, Newcastle have been rejected by Leeds with a bid for Jack Harrison. Of course, there's reports coming from Sky Sports as well, saying that Southampton have agreed a deal in principle to sign Sekou Mara from Bordeaux. And of course, Newcastle were interested in the player following the Ekitike saga, but I don't know, you know, if we'll continue on that interest in Sekou Mara or not, or if we'll, you know, turn the focus more to Benjamin Sekou and maybe, you know, bringing in Lucas Paqueta Diaby. You know, it's because there's quite a few people that we are being linked to, and unfortunately, you know, we won't be able to bring every single one of them in, and we wouldn't want to bring every single one of them in, you know, because you don't want to upset the balance of the team. But it looks as though Southampton are pushing up their, you know, chance of bringing in Sesko Mara to their club, of course, with them agreeing a deal in principle to sign him from Bordeaux. So we'll see how it goes on that one. Maybe Newcastle might, you know, have another look at Sesko Mara, but we'll see as time goes on if, you know, we do actually go back in for him or not, or if we're even in form to begin with, because there has been quite a few players and agents, you know, throwing their names around with Newcastle United. Name being thrown in there, you know, just to up the price of a player. It's pretty bad, and it's not the best for us as fans, you know, to see this, because it means we, you know, start to think that we're being linked to these players, and really we're not. It's just the agents trying to up the fee of the player. A bit like the Ekitike one, you know, I don't think he really ever was going to come to Newcastle United. I think his agent was throwing our name in the hat, maybe, you know, to up the fee so he could get a bit more money for himself in the back pocket. And, you know, it ended up with Ekitike going on loan to PSG. I'm sure, you know, his agent ended up getting 13 million or whatever close to that amount off of PSG as well for brokering the deal to get the player to go there on loan. But we'll never know. But moving on to talk about the youngsters in Newcastle United, or under 21s, yet again won another game. Now, I know I'm late to the party on this one, but we've won another pre-season game for the young Magpies. Goals coming from Kyle Crosby, Santiago Muniz, and of course a goal from new signing Alex Murphy, sealing a 3-1 win for Newcastle's under 21s against Blackburn Rovers, which is absolutely amazing. Great to see that the young lads are continuing on their win streak after that game against Elche, who of course were a Liga outfit who finished quite high in La Liga last season. So it's nice to see that the under 21s are continuing on their win streak from that game. And of course, to finish off the video, we will talk a little bit about some, you know, support that Miguel Almiron's been getting. Of course, from Club Americas. Man City took on Club Americas last night. And of course, the Club Americas players, a few of them were, you know, sticking up for Almiron against Jack Grealish after them comments that Grealish made, you know, saying that Almiron was shit. And here we've seen images coming from the game of Man City versus Club Americas last night, where a few of the Club Americas players have stuck up for Almiron. Of course, Richard Sanchez stepping in for the sake of his compatriot to, of course, you know, help out against Jack Grealish, who was being an absolute twat in the game, I've got to say. You know, and he was really trying to just work his ticket with everybody on the pitch. There was a nice little incident by Bruno Valdes to, you know, Jack Grealish, where he did a really massive tackle, a really harsh tackle in. It was well deserved though for, you know, to show support for Almiron. And of course, Bruno Valdes got up after doing the tackle. Grealish wasn't happy. He was giving it, you know, a good mouthful towards Valdes. Valdes, of course, you could say, you know, mouth the words, "This is for your chip at Almiron," which is fantastic to see, you know, that there is players out there supporting Almiron against them horrible comments that Jack Grealish made against him. You know, at the end of the day, Jack Grealish wasn't doing anything absolutely sensational last season himself, so to, you know, come out and make comments like he did in their celebrations against Almiron is just absolutely wrong. There will be images, of course, of the crunching tackle that Bruno Valdes put in on Grealish, and it's fully deserved, you know, because Grealish needs to shut his mouth and just continue to play football. You know, at the end of the day, there's a lot of players like that, you know, that run their mouths, and they should just let their football do the talking for them. To be honest, it's just absolutely laughable especially when, you know, he really didn't contribute that much to Man City's wins last season, and to come out and make comments like that, you know, it's just absolutely beyond a joke. Definitely needs to, you know, check himself out in the mirror and get his mind into check, because that is absolutely dreadful. That kind of attitude needs to stop, you know, if you're going to continue to be a role model for young kids and a role model for, you know, the fans of your club, Manchester City. So you definitely got to check yourself there before, you know, it gets out of hand, because it's really beyond a joke now. Also moving on to comments that Eddie Howe made on Matt Ritchie. My intention is to try and keep him, but it's well documented that Matty has been away from his family for a long period of time, according to Dominic Stroll of the Gazette, of course, on that one, getting comments from Eddie Howe on Matt Ritchie. And of course, he follows it up with he loves playing for NUFC and is very passionate about the club, but I think it's unclear what direction we'll take. Hopefully, you know, Matt Ritchie can see out his time at Newcastle United. Maybe, you know, there has been talks about him possibly getting a coaching role at Newcastle United. But again, them comments coming from Eddie Howe there, saying that he has been away from his family for a long time, which of course his family, if I remember rightly, do live down on the south coast. So, you know, maybe he'll get a job down there, or maybe, you know, he can get a job at Newcastle United as coach, and his family can maybe move up here to the northeast. But we'll have to see what happens on that one. Matt Ritchie's been a fantastic servant of the club, and he'll get a lot of respect, I'm sure, when he does eventually retire from Newcastle United. And of course, on other news as well, Dwight Gayle, another great servant of the club, another player that, you know, really did a lot for the club during the championship period when we went down there. You know, he is now on the verge of joining Stoke City. So, you know, good luck to Dwight Gayle. I hope, you know, he does have a great time down there at Stoke. And of course, it looks like, you know, it's going to be one of them ones where we knew he was going to go to, you know, we knew he was going to go down into a championship team. It's just, you know, the division that he seems to be best at, to be honest. Dwight Gayle, he just seems to know how to score goals. In the championship, he couldn't quite make that leap up into the Premier League, a bit like Alexander Mitrovic, you know, when he came up with Fulham. And he couldn't quite make that leap up neither with us as well. You know, he just wasn't the Premier League capable player. And Dwight Gale's similar. You know, he just can't seem to, you know, get a consistency of scoring goals in the Premier League, yet down in the Championship, he's an absolute world beater. So, you know, good luck to Dwight Gayle on his move to Stoke City. Hopefully, you know, it does work out well for him. Hopefully, he does get a chance, you know, to prove himself once again as a proven goal scorer down there in the Championship. And also, before we finish off the video, I do want to say a massive congratulations to Lioness and NUFC fan Stanworth, Georgina Stanworth, of course, who scored the winning goal to beat Spain and take the Lionesses into the semi-final of the Women's Euros 2022. So congratulations to Stanway for, you know, scoring that goal. Massive occasion, I'm sure, for herself to score that goal. And of course, running off and celebrating in true fashion, as all Geordies do, with the good old Alan Shearer celebration. And that is, you know, what all us Geordies love to see, somebody getting the chance, you know, to live out their dream and play football, because football is more than a game up here in the Northeast. Football is a way of life here in the Northeast, and it's great to see so many, you know, people from this region finally getting the chance, you know, to show their worth in the game. And Stanway is another one of them, you know, so good luck to the lass. Hopefully, you know, the Lionesses can win the Euros 2020, and who knows, maybe Newcastle United's owners might give a trip to St James's Park to watch one of the games, and Who knows, maybe they might even possibly be able to give our contract for the Newcastle United women as well, and we can have a brilliant goal scorer in there from the England setup. That would be something sensational to see, and it would be a massive step forward as well for the women's side of Newcastle United. But till next time, remember to like, share, subscribe to the channel. If you can, please hit a like and of course share the video around, as it does help the channel to grow. And I'll see you all next time. Bye, the lads.